Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you all. I appreciate what each of your companies is doing with regard to moving product around the country. I hope we get an infrastructure bill. I hope you're all enormously successful, because that will mean the economy is successful. As my colleagues know, I've taken a strong position, though, against the idea of forcing the Twin-33 trailers on states that have, on the 30 states that have opted out of this. And there are huge concerns, safety concerns, as expressed by sheriffs, by the AAA, by safety advocates that have come to see me. But my question today, Mr. Fritz, is with regard to whether the large-scale implementation of Twin-33s would tilt the playing field in terms of competition. Would large-scale implementation of Twin-33s negatively affect the railways?
Senator, we're in the process of evaluating that exact question amongst other aspects of the Twin-33 initiative. Our historic position has been one where we have not taken a position. We've essentially been neutral on the topic. We're in the process of reevaluating that, and I do not have a direct answer for you today.
Okay. You know, there have been a number of entities that have reevaluated. For example, the American Trucking Association last year lobbied extensively in favor of moving to a Twin-33 mandate. And they announced in January of this year that they do not plan to push in this session for an extension in length of twin trailers beyond their current legal limit. As a matter of fact, the ATA website says, we support a reformed federal truck size and weight regime that gives states more flexibility, and of course that's what I support, to authorize safer, cleaner, and more productive vehicles, and that retains federal regulations designed to promote interstate commerce. So this is the ATA reevaluating their position. Do you know, Mr. Fritz, if the Association of American Railroads has taken a position on Twin-33 trailers or increases in truck length?
The association reflects its membership on the topic, which is largely neutral and also in the process of evaluating that position.
Okay. Well, let me shift briefly in the 2 minutes I have to this issue of on-dock railway access, and this is a concern to my state of Mississippi because we're interested in multimodal and intermodal access with our ports. So to Mr. Polizio and Mr. Fritz, what suggestions do you have to improve transportation efficiency between the railways and the ports, and how much does on-dock railway access at ports increase the efficiency of intermodal transportation? And Mr. Polizio, I'll go to you first.
Well, thank you, and it's actually an excellent question. It's critical when you think about port infrastructure. You have to recognize that we are the entry point and the exit point. Our responsibilities to the Midwest and non-coastal cities outside of the immediate gateway is critical for the supply chain. In the case of, and I'll give you one example, we recently connected on-dock rail in our Newark operations, where we brought what was previously a rail yard less than a quarter mile from our operation with a rail flyover bridge. We took 1,000 truck moves a day off the busiest roadway connecting the ports of New York and New Jersey from the north end to the south end of the port. We took 1,000 truck movements a day through that intersection off and connected them directly to the rail. We've quadrupled productivity of containers, their ability to move containers to that rail yard, and we've increased the capacity of that rail yard, lowering the environmental footprint caused by moving trucks through a public roadway to access that rail yard. That's one example. There are many, many examples. If you go to ports throughout the tri-coastal footprint, you will see opportunities to upgrade port infrastructure. Another very good example is the on-dock rail in the port of Seagirt, Maryland, where we're working with the Maryland DOT and the Maryland Port Authority and CSX to raise the Howard Street Tunnel to allow double stacking for rail from the Port of Seagirt, which will again increase capacity in the North Atlantic and Northeastern United States. So I don't think you can overstate the importance of bringing rail and ports together. As the supply chain continues to grow, the requirement to feed rail from the ports efficiently is paramount.
Madam Chair, I wonder if we could get a brief answer from Mr. Fritz on this issue.
Thank you, Senator. I couldn't agree more with Mr. Policcio. Likewise, adding in the intermodal product space, which generates, call it 13.5 million units of volume annually for the railroad industry, there's that critical connectivity between ports, trucks, and the railroads, where the railroads are part of the solution to much of what we've been discussing here today as the potential problem, which is how do you create more capacity in the state's highway system and allow for more robust, safer transportation via highway. Intermodal product is great, and you hit it right on the head, Senator, from the standpoint of the connectivity of ports to rail to highway is critically important because ultimately the last mile or last 50 miles or sometimes last 150 miles are executed by a truck. And so railroads very much support robust infrastructure investment, and we love it when you perceive that as being critically important in the connection points for intermodal product.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.